Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel sibuke ama-reality shows ethu ala emzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senza ama-reviews or ama-recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma any other issues avuka uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukile kwi-TV. If it's your first time joining us today and you really like i-content yalana, ungakhohlwa ukuthi upresse usubscribe button la ngezansi bese upress i-notification bell ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Laba abafuna ukuba a-member of the channel, there's a join button below. If you want to donate to the channel, there is a thanks button also. There is adverts on this channel. If you want to support the channel, please watch the adverts. So finally, you guys, I get to do the review of Uthando Nesthembu episode 1. You guys, before I do it, listen, the production quality here, budget when it comes to the show. This is not a low budget show because listen, they're bringing you quality ama-diary sessions akhona, the way they look kaMaCele this season, look kaMakhumalo this, they look beautiful. Umayeni doesn't even have to make an effort, you already know. And nomangwa, like, they just look beautiful. They look beautiful. Even umyeni wabo shame in the diary session, niyamazi usangimkhonzile, but it looks beautiful. It's a beautiful production, you guys, to watch. And also when the season begins, it feels like they have a plan on what moving forward they're going to talk about. They get into the story, And yes, I do understand, and I'm one of those people too that is just so over Historisika number 5. But they get into it, so I guess we're going to have to talk about it, even though I feel like it really was number 5 was never really going to happen, but it has given them such a good story line that they have been able to drag for so long. So we don't have a choice. We're going to have to discuss in number 5 because it still exists. We know it's not going to happen because obviously they've already had their 20th anniversary. Which one? MaCele, which was the deadline for MaCele to take number 5. There's been newspaper articles where they interviewed MaCele, and he did say yes, he ran out of time. He's not gonna take number 5. But again, they still do talk about it. So it's a great production. The makeup is on point. Everything okay. So my color season, obviously they're doing immediately they talk about the number 5. I think MaCele no MaCele, they were in the diary session and they're being asked about the number 5. MaCele just feel like, listen, I'm over it. If number 5 is gonna come, they must come already so we can deal with it, or angezi at all. Not lenda ukuthi kulekhulunywa ngayo nje. Uma yena uthi usamla evele emikhona ngendaba ka number 5, kusho ukuthi ama feelings akhe they are still the same. Uma Ngwabe says the same thing, ukuthi ama feelings akhe they are still the same. Khumalo naye, Khumalo never really complains about anything. Angimazi umuntu onje yamina in life, but honestly Khumalo is like easy going, anything, Nkosikazi mayifika she's okay with it, mayingafikanga she's okay with it nje. Easy going yena ke akaza nika MaCele any ultimatums when it comes to indaba ka number 5. Okay guys, ngiyangithatha ama notes ke when it comes to the full review because ngenzela laba who have not watched the episode so they can know exactly ukuthi what happening. So MaCele ke uthi ukhuluma kusho they went on a date with umyeni wakhe. She was looking beautiful, which is great, even though there's 4 of them, he gets time to take them on dates, and so they're going on a date and they're going to discuss some things concerning a family. The thing about it, you guys, is that I do not understand how this family would have issues. For an example, they have issues or things that took place in the last season, which was season 5. And they usually have months in between seasons. So they would shoot a season, finish with it, and then they live their normal lives, waiting to shoot the next season. So to me, it's a surprise that whatever issues that they have in the last season, those issues would wait until the next season before they resolve them. you know. And this is one of the reasons that really make me feel like labantu laba, they don't spend as much time together when it's not when they are not shooting the show, you know. Because if I'm upset with you, really am I going to wait for next season for us to address what upset me last season? Finally, by the time the cameras come, they're like, by the way, we were able to sit down and talk about that issue that happened last season, but this is not the issue. Like when they come, it's like nabo bagcina isizini iyafreeze ngathi their lives freeze until the next season, and then that's when they're going to deal with the issues. That is the thing that I've noticed. And obviously here in this sit down, uMaCele ukhuluma ngendaba yama meetings that uMseleku always calls. She feels like ama meeting he doesn't handle the meetings correctly, and there's always somebody that is hurt by the feelings. He mishandles them and mishandles ama feelings abo when he calls ama meetings. Anyway, you guys, I felt like that last season. He would call a meeting and say izinto that would upset the wives, and half the time he would walk out of after they are upset, he would walk out of the meeting and without anything being resolved. So I think uMaCele has a point there in saying ukuthi uyahliphiza nje mayisuke bize ama meetings with amakhosikazi akhe, he's not sensitive enough. Okay, so uMaCele decides ukuthi she is going to be the one that will call a meeting this time, so that they can discuss whatever issues that they need to discuss, and or whatever issues that they need to discuss are the issues that happened last season. They do talk a little bit about indaba kaMangwabe and the fact that uMangwabe is still around. And uMseleku uMaCele ubuza indaba yokuthi uMseleku, what did he mean when he said ukuthi ene abahambayo bosala bencenga bona, you know. Uyambuza ukuthi what did you mean by that? Because ukuthi abahamba is like, you can go if you want to go, you know, we will continue with our lives as normal. Just because you go, it doesn't mean our lives will stop. So ubuza ngale ukuthi what did you mean by that statement, you know. And uMseleku says what he meant and was that people must stay in the family because they want to be in the family. It shouldn't be that kunabantu abancengiwe ukuthi babe kwi family and they don't want to be there anymore. And I feel like for the most part he is referring to uMangwabe. uMaCele, he's like, so ma uzosala incenga nobani ubalo, you know, because uMaCele feels like he's not gonna be the one of the ones okuzosalwa nabo bancenga. It's like the reason he is saying uMseleku abahambayo is because he believes ukuthi uMaCele is not gonna live. So even if the others leave, he believes he still have uMaCele. And uMaCele says, if that was the case, vele, if he had said bahamba ngempela, nami ngiyohanjiswa yisona leso statement leso, azibone ukuthi uzosala ancenga nobani. I get her point when he says that, because it's like, oh, so you know mina ukuthi ngeke ngize ngiye ndawo, so no matter what you say mina vele ngizohlala. Kodwa ke futhi I do believe ukuthi that is true. I do believe ukuthi uMaCele, out of all of the wives, unkosikazi ongeke azaye indawo with uMakhumalo there, but uMaCele more than anything I feel like ngeke azaye indawo, you know, ukhona you know. And yeah, so kodwa uyasho kulona uMseleku ukuthi ezinye izinto vele zakhulumeka kabi at that time. Yes, zakhulumeka kabi at that time because of isimo ayephezu kwaso. So remember, he was talking about taking number 4. He was not getting his support from his wives. Umayeni wanted to leave, uMangwabe wanted to leave. Now he was saying things under a pressure, I guess. So maybe we can give him a break and say that he said it because of that. But I wouldn't want to be in a marriage where somebody says ukuthi no mungahamba thina soqhubeka siphile impilo yethu, you know. So decide, are you going, are you staying? You want to know what your partner wants you there and that they would fight for you. If you decided to say no, into ethile angithandi and it will, I would leave if ingafixeki, you would want to think that your partner would fight for you. And this is what they don't have in this marriage, especially laba abanye. I think uMaCele might have that, but I think that the others don't have that because he seems like he doesn't care if they leave or go, or he pretends not to care. Okay. So MaCele is wanting to organize this meeting because she's saying if MaCele organizes a meeting because she knows it's going to be a mess and MaCele would end up hurting their feelings vele. So MaCele says ukuthi akanankinga nokuthi alokhuza ayiplane ilokhuzana i-meeting. Okay, so fine. Kune statement ke MaCele ashoyo while they are having leyo conversation yokuthi abahambayo, and a responder to MaCele saying ukuthi kwakusho ukuthini lokho because yena angahanjiswa isona leso statement because akayena umuntu okuzoncengwa naye while abanye behambile. So MaCele usho le statement in the diary session uthi MaCele uyakhohlwa ukuthi yena wake washonelwa unkosikazi amthandayo, but he is still okay. So the way I interpreted that statement is that MaCele is saying even now MaCele, he doesn't care if MaCele lives because he knows he would survive because he survived losing a wife that he really loved, which was Uthando. And it made me question ngempela ukuthi was that really the wife that he was really in love with, and because even makukhulunywa ngayo Uthando MaCele akabi happy. MaCele doesn't like indaba kaSindi ngathi they never really got along. You remember when they wanted to even go by emathuneni MaCele was like akayena lapho, the only person that wanted to go was uMakhumalo, and omayeni ke bona bathi they never got to know Uthando, that is MaSaul. So it made me feel like, is he saying that was actually the only wife that he ever loved? So if he survived losing her, he can survive losing all of these other ones that he has now. And I'm just wondering even that, because he said that in the diary session, how are they going to feel watching that on TV? Okay, so anyway, he says it. MaCele has a way of saying izinto that would hurt his wife's feelings, and he doesn't seem to recognize those are the things that would hurt them. Okay, so MaCele yena umile ekuthenini, listen, njoba siyisithemba amukho kumele ahambe, amukho kumele ahambe, and mangabe umuntu ahamba kangahanjiswa ukuthi akaphathekile kahle, akahanjiswa ukuthi vele yena uhlulekile nje umendo, not ukuthi mhlambe khona khala ngayo kumseleko. MaCele isithembu sakhe sithi, if mina ngonkosikazi ngijabulile ungiphethe kahle enough ukuthi ngijabulile, I feel like noma ungenzani it's okay because of indlela ongiphethe ngayo. Why are your other wives not feeling that way? Is it because awubaphethe kahle the way ophethe kahle ngami? Because mina ungiphethe kahle in such a way yokuthi ngisho ungafuna ukwenzani ngizokuvumela ukuthi uyenzele, ngisho ungafuna ukuthatha number 5 ngizokuvumela ukuthi uthathe number 5 ngoba ungiphethe kahle. Kusho ukuthi laba abanye awubaphethe kahle, that's the reason be complain. MaCele indlela ayechaza ngayo ukuthi listen, it's like ayikho into angabenzeli yona. He even makes an example ukuthi a poor man can come home with isakala mazambane, kujatshulwe ekhaya, jabula unkosikazi abe happy, but mengabe unemali ngisho umuntu wamthengela iMercedes, ngisho ngamthengelani, ngisho ngamenzelani, if engekho happy akekho happy, which means that ukujabula komuntu vele kungaphakathi. Now I do agree ukuthi ukujabula komuntu kungaphakathi. But I do feel like there is obviously something that MaCele gets good in that marriage that the others don't, and that's the reason that she's able to look like she is satisfied and she is happy. And this season, guys, uhleka yonke into MaCele. She is happy ngempela. And to think about it, you guys, MaCele is the one wife that doesn't look like she works, because umayeni works, I don't know, in some government department, ulokhuzana uma ngabe works as a nurse. MaCele naye works, she's on Real Housewives, she was on Real Housewives, she works on Vuma FM, she does ama public talks and everything. So MaCele just looks like the wife who is taken care of out of all of them. And also I feel like not only are her physical needs taken care of more than the other wives, but also emotionally she gets a little bit more than the other wives. So maybe that's why she's happy. So MaCele is saying that because if mina happy, bengekho happy, that means that you're not taking care of them the way that you're taking care of me, then you need to change and do that. He seems to understand that, but even though that complain, sometimes when you have money, it doesn't matter what you do, people are still not going to be satisfied. Anyway, so again, since they had agreed, it's okay, fine, MaCele is the one that is going to organize a meeting after their date. Because when they were talking, they were on a date, both two. She calls the other wives. They seem to have a friendly conversation with each of them, because she's laughing on the phone and everything. I think the only thing that I feel like was resolved between the seasons is the fight between MaCele and Nomangwabe, because this season they seem to not have tension, because at the end of last season there was tension. Umagwabe had it with MaCele, and MaCele was feeling the same. So it does feel like they resolved it, or maybe they just put it under the carpet by pretending atilungile. I don't know. As the season moves along, we will find out anyway. So we have a phone about 3, and kuzoba ne meeting, which they show up for, looking really beautiful. Yabona kule family la makuthiwa kuyaphunywa endlini. When they leave the house, umuntu has an outfit to leave the house. Makuthiwa okay, ngoba even when they have dinner eMzombe, bezoba ne dinner endlini kamayeni or kabani, the way abasonka ngakhona usuku ungazi ukuthi angazi baphumile bakuphi, nje banaleyo nto leyo yabo yokuthi nje kuyagqoka baba bahle. They were looking beautiful, all of them were looking really beautiful. So when they show up for a meeting, it's first the wives that are there to talk. MaCele only comes later on, and okay, ngiyaskipha la. Okay, let's just hold on to the meeting because it happens later on. She calls them for a meeting, and they all agree because they're going to meet. So none of them have a problem with the fact that they're going to meet. So they will prepare for the meeting. But the next scene, it was Umangwabe. She's coming from work, and she decided to go ayobona umawakhe. There is the scene that was on a trailer that I really wanted to see, because I wanted to get clarity what that conversation was, Umangwabe with her mom. It's that feeling yokuba sekhaya uyafika umawakhe bengamlindele, and I get that warm feeling between her and Nomawakhe. It always looks like they have a good relationship, you guys. Another shock that we find out from this conversation. So uma ngabe sebaxoxa noma wakhe, uyamxoxela ke nje ukuthi une problem yokuthi ubaba MaCele wants to take another wife, and feeling that he is breaking the promise that he made. Remember, guys, Umangwabe made it clear last season that when she married MaCele had made her a promise that he will not take another wife. So she married him with a condition that there won't be anybody after her. So he is breaking that promise. So she's telling her mom, go to MaCele wants wife number 5. So umawakhe says to her, obviously now we grew up being told ukuthi kuyabekezelwa emendweni, but angeke mina ngikwazi ukuthi ngikutshele lokho engizokusho ukuthi wena wazi ukuthi ufeelani in your heart, and if you feel ukuthi usajabulile, then ke fanele kuhlale, but ngeke futhi ngize ngithi hamba, it's up to you ukuthi how do you feel. And then ke uma wakho uyambuza ukuthi ke uyakushaya yini, and like our mothers, you guys, it's like the worst that could happen lokhuzeni in that could possibly make you leave a marriage is physical abuse. But other than that, everything else you can just bekezela. If engakushayi, you can just bekezela, if esathenga ukudla endlini, you can just bekezela. And I think that's where it's the generation thing ukuthi uyakushaya. So uma ngabe no akangishayi, but Kuyafana nokuthi uyangishaya ngoba ungishaya inhliziyo, you know, he doesn't beat me but he breaks my heart, and which was really sad to hear, you guys. I really do think that there is a misunderstanding and a miscommunication when it comes to ama feelings kamangwabe in that marriage. I don't feel like she is heard in terms of what her needs are in that marriage, and it's not that she wants to leave, but it's almost like she's not getting what she really needs from the marriage. So it's a difficult thing. So are you gonna stay even though you don't get what you need from the marriage, or are you going to leave? Okay. This is what shocks me when umaga Mangwabe tells us ukuthi kanti she did not uma ulona umsele akazange alobole uMangwabe. I'm wondering, you guys, ukuthi kahle kahle the thinking ngaba umseleko imi kanjani, because when they started into yokukhuluma ngemshado for everybody else, initially it felt like it was going to be renewal of vows for everybody. But then when MaCele was getting married, that's when they started doing engazi ukuthi kuyaqedelwa amalobolo kwaze kwabiwa and all of that, and then we like, oh, so kwangabiwanga, so kahle izinto zamalobolo were not done. And then the only wife where we have seen a photo of their a wedding photo that shows because they did actually go to church and get married was the photo kaMayeni. But naye there were things that had to be done ngekathi esenza umshado wakhe. So it felt like it was a renewal of the vows, but then there were other things traditionally that were not done. But here with uMangwabe, uMaga Mangwabe just speaks as if nothing was done when it comes to Lobola and uMangwabe, because she says, yeah, akaza zambathe lutho, and if ungambathanga lutho that means ukuthi azange phela aza lobola. So I'm wondering ukuthi uMangwabe aze ahambe ayohlala kaMseleku, what happened? Did she just have kids, or wacelwa, or what? Abacacisi lapho, but uma ukukhala ngalo ukuthi how can this man say he's gonna go and take another wife engalotsholiwe? Listen, a lot of people do not like the attitude kaMangwabe, and that's why I say I feel like sometimes she is misunderstood. I do feel like sometimes she is misheard, because imagine your man say he wants to take another wife, but akazange global wena self, and you are there for years, you know, he's doing things for the other wives and all that, he's done those marriages with the other wives when but he's talking about taking another one. Like, I feel like even that contributes to how uMangwabe feels being in her marriage. I do get her in that, and it's just something that she hasn't said. So how can you be taking another wife? But Umawake says she wants to see Umseleko because she also doesn't understand how are you going to go and get another wife unga lobolile mina la ingane yami. So anyway, I think she just wanted to have that conversation with her mom, but she's just telling her mom, hey, there's a possibility that I might come back here because I'm not happy langi khona. It's a heartbreaking conversation, honestly, to have with your mom, and you can see what her mom is heartbroken, because remember last season, it's not last season, the season where Umseleko bought the cars, how happy she was. Ingane yakhe was married to somebody oyinakekelayo and all that, and she was talking about how much she loves Umseleko, and I think it's a disappointment for her that her child is now unhappy in that marriage that she thought was perfect, which is not really marriage, because namalobola akazange zakhishwe. Okay, so they conclude by saying ukuthi Umseleko kuzofanele ezazokhuluma noma kaMangwabe, because he needs to sort out whatever it is that he needs to sort out. Okay, then the next scene is uMakhumalo with her dad. Guys, Makhumalo's dad, is that Makhumalo's dad or Makhumalo's brother? Listen, I have single viewers here. Can we find out if Makhumalo's dad is taken? Is Makhumalo's mom still with Makhumalo's dad? Is Makhumalo's dad not single? Because Makhumalo's dad looks really good, and I've got single viewers here who are always Talking about not finding somebody, but can we do a match? Did you see Makhumalo's father? He looks quite young, guys. He looks young and fresh, and I'm like, yeah. But I think Velu Makhumalo is young. We all know Gutu Makhumalo mncane, so it makes sense Gutu Babak will not be that old. She's taking her father out because I guess ufuna ukukhuluma ile nto engisho ukuthi yazi izinto ezenzeke last season they just sit and not resolve them at all until the next season. Kusho ukuthi kahle kahle these are not people that talk about issues that are going on. They just but the show forces them to talk about those issues because maybe when the producers come, then they're like, okay, can we do something about this thing that happened last season? Can we do something about this? Can we do something about that? And then it forces them to talk because I can't imagine them saying, okay, we need to talk about this, but let's wait until next season, then we'll talk about it. So it's starting to feel like they're just people that don't talk about issues, but they're being forced to do that because of the show. So Uma Khumalo basically hasn't spoken to her father about since last season. So they're going out and they're going to talk about. Remember, there is an issue of Ubaba Khumalo was the one that used to drive the kids to school. Okay. Meaning that he was an employee or he is an employee MaCele drives the car. So now currently they're saying the car is so I guess they're not dealing with that issue. So there was a time when Ubaba Khumalo had a fight. I am not sure whether the fight was with MaCele or with Umangwabe, but they had a misunderstanding or whatever. And then around that time, he asked one of the kids ukuthi avule isango or something. And when I think about it, guys, ingane kaMangwabe are one of the younger kids zikaMaCele. So I'm just thinking 3 seasons or 2 seasons ago, how young was that child? Ukuthi kube uye abathi akehle emotweni avule isango. So at that time when they explained the story, it was like ingane yehlile emotweni yavula isango. Masilivulile isango instead ukuthi imoto ingene and then imlinde angene emotweni ibese imshiya lapha esangweni yangena ngaphakathi and ingane had to walk from esangweni ke seyendlini, mayefika endlini ke kusho there was a story sokuthi ngishiwe lapha yana mina ngemoto kwaba njani njani. At that time that's how they tell the story, even though right now angisasizwa kahle. Ingane kwathiwa ehle uvula isango ehle ingane yavula isango waye ingane ivula isango ingane imoto yangena yokwehlisa abanye phakathi ingane yahamba ngenyawo from the gate. Ingane zabantu abarich. But I guess if you look at the homestead yakamSele, we get it's a big Uthando, it's going around a big area, so I guess it might be a longanyana distance, So there was that conversation where uMangwabe spoke to MaCele and said ukuthi ingane zakhe zahlukumenyezwa zihlukunyezwa ubaba kaMakhumalo. So Makhumalo wanted to have that conversation with ubaba wakhe because ubaba wakhe saw that on TV, okay? So they're having a conversation. Ubaba wakhe says ukuthi I didn't feel like I did anything wrong because I took ingane kaMangwabe as my own kids. I took them as my own grandkids. So mangithi ingane ihambe yovula isango, it's like I'm saying ngithuma umzukulu wami. It's my own grandkids, go like I would do for anybody. I had no bad intentions and I don't feel like I did something wrong. It's possible that I could have done something wrong, but I don't feel like I did. If I felt like I did, I would apologize, but I don't feel like I did, So I guess they were having that conversation, and then Khumalo also asked him, how does he feel about this thing? There's a Khumalo that is going to come to the family. Ubaba is like, I don't understand that, and I don't even know how that is going to work. And then Khumalo starts talking about how she doesn't mind, because Velu Khumalo doesn't mind anything, Khumalo doesn't mind anything, Khumalo's mom could marry MaCele and Khumalo won't mind. I'm sure. I know I'm being ridiculous, but I'm just trying to say that Khumalo doesn't mind anything, How do you not mind anything anyway? So, but she says her explanation is that if something is not gonna, if ukufika komunye unkosikazi is not gonna take anything from her, she doesn't mind that person come noma umakhumalo. And ubaba wakhe obviously ends up saying, okay, then if that's the case, then I mean, it's up to you. It is your marriage after all. So if you're happy with it, you're happy with it. And then that was the end of the conversation with their father. Here's the thing, you guys. I don't, even last season, I felt like the solution to the problem, Gababa, Gamakumalu driving the kids, is for them to get someone else. I feel like it's always going to, that relationship is always going to be complicated as long as Ubaba Gamakumalo is the one that drives the kids. Because Uma Ngwabe is always going to be uncomfortable with him being with her kids. And it also, just the fact that Ubaba Gamakumalo brings extra tension. So I do feel like they must just stop. If he has another job that he can give to Ubaba Gamakumalo, they must just do that. Otherwise, that car transport thing is just never gonna be solved. And Gavele Futumangwabo is stubborn. If she says no to something, she says no to something. So then it's the meeting. The meeting, they're looking beautiful. Ooh, baby, you know, I was a makoskazi. MaCele. And Bafia meeting, hey, MaCele was very organized, you know. She had an agenda written down. I guess it's into that they needed to discuss Konelago meeting. And then, the first thing that they needed to discuss was the issue Kababagamakumal, you know. So I guess it was written on the agenda, you know, as the first item. And Makumalo expresses she was disappointed to see Umangwabe Umbali talking about Ubabake the way that she did. Umangwabe uzokhuluma her mind, which she says, no, but I felt like Ubabako wahlukumeze ngani. The fact that he had a fight with whoever that I'm not clear why in a fight nobody. That thing shouldn't have affected the way that she treated my kids that day. So I feel like she did. And so there's no way so and Umakumalo is like she would have preferred for Umangwabe to speak to Ubabake in a way and get the facts what happened. Umangwabe would say, I didn't need to, because actually there was Umpilo at that time. They say she was one of the older kids that were using transports at the time. And Umpilo is the one that told Umangwabe what had happened. And when she told Umangwabe what happened, she told her the exact story that she was told by the younger kid. So Umangwabe feels like the story is valid because even Umpilo told me the same thing. Umakumalo says Umpilo ingane yakhe. There is no way that Umpilo would say that about Ubaba Makumalo because ingane yakhe. Okay. Remember, you guys, ingane lezi, and they also do know ukuthi kuhlezi kune tension between their mothers, you know. And so now when they transfer a story between this mother and that mother and whatever, nazi ingane ziyaxabanisa in a way. Ngiyamsola ukuthi Umpilo might have said something, or she told the truth. Umpilo ukuthi yavele mhlawumbe ingane yehliswe emotweni or whatever, but you know, which did not favor Ubaba Kamakhumalo. But Umakhumalo is feeling like that wouldn't have happened. Umpilo wouldn't have done that. Okay. And she felt like Umangwabe is just throwing things in njengoba akafuni phela to lie down and be like, you know what, I apologize or whatever. I doubt ukuthi Umakhumalo will just bring in Umpilo when Umpilo is not the one that said it, you know. But at the same time, I do feel like it's something that happened long time ago. It's about time that they let it go, you know. It's either they let it go and all the kids go back to transport, or they let it go and just let Umangwabe take her kids to school like she does, you know. But, you know, I don't know, guys. They still feel like they have issues that they need to resolve. Umangwabe just feels like it was inappropriate from the beginning because how are you going to deal with an in-law as an employee? because being an employer and employee relationship is a difficult relationship to deal with. Now you add someone being an in-law, umukhwe, umuntu ofanele ahlonishwe, how are they going to deal with him? It was a difficult thing. She feels like that it should be changed, it should be someone else. And okay, so uMakhumalo ends up saying, you know what, I think I just have to accept ukuthi uMangwabe doesn't like my father. I think that point was usually uMakhumalo is the one that would act matured, you know, in conversations, but I felt like that point was immature to say, because it's clear that uMangwabe doesn't hate ubaba kaMakhumalo, but akayithandi into eyenziwa ubaba kaMakhumalo. That's what she says now. No, I didn't say I hate your father, I'm just saying that I don't like how he treated my kids, and so I won't let my kids be driven by him. uMakhumalo is like, so what is the resolve? You know, let's say imoto ke say ilungile, because apparently there's a problem with the car. Let's say imoto say ilungile, Mangwabe, are you going to allow? Because uMangwabe was saying, yena she's okay with ubaba kaMakhumalo because mayihlangana naye uyamkhulumisa uyambingelela kanankinga, you know, so udlulile lapho. But mabembuza ukuthi would you allow your kids ukuthi zingene emotweni, she's like, I'm not sure. Now I wouldn't be sure, because if the relationship is fractured between me and nomuntu, then I'm not going to hand my kids to the person whom a relationship is taking, you know. So can I trust you with my kids? I can forgive you, but you know, not enough good now I can trust you with my kids. I feel like it's that kind of a situation. So uMakhumalo is like, yeah, this is not resolved because you're still saying that you wouldn't allow your kids. uMangwabe is like, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I'm not sure. You know. So I guess umayeni advice yakhe was, you know what guys, ezinye izinto you can never really get a closure and resolve them. You just have to let them be zilunge ngendlela. Yeah, understand leyo nto guys ukuthi sometimes izinto zilunga ngendlela, especially when it comes to a family. And not everything, you don't get to talk and resolve everything. As is okay, that was just a misunderstanding. Let's move on with life. And as you move on with your life, inhliziyo ziyatamba towards each other. You know, whoever that you had a problem with is ziyatamba towards each other. Maybe one day uMangwabe uzobona say, no guys, it's okay, because you know, I think that's what uMayeni was just trying to say, just bandishana amanxeba for now, nihambe nawe njalo, because there's no resolve, you know. And so then again, I don't know if this was an agenda item too, because MaCele asked them, okay, so okwamanje uniphethe kanjani lona umSelegu, and which is strange nje ukuthi ngiphethe so umyeni wami usaniphethe kanjani, you know. Uniphethe kanjani umyeni wakho, wena uphethe kanjani, wena uphethe kanjani. And umayeni athi kushuthi wena uphathe kahle mawuzosibuza lokho thina shuthi ke uyabonakala nje ukhuluphela ngisho ukhuluphela ukuthi uphatheke kahle, thina hayi vele ngiphatheke kahle. Anyway, uMakhumalo says ukuthi usaphatheke kahle marriage yakhe, she's happy. Anyway, she's happy, uhleka yonke into, you guys. Angazi ukuthi umfakeni umSelegu uMaCele ngoba hayi shame. She's all positive this season. She loves everybody. She's bringing everybody together. She's all about unity this season, okay? And noma yena says ukuthi hayi no basaphathene kahle no lona uMakhumalo ke nje guys seloko afika kamyeni kaMSelegu uyahleka. Seloko afika kalona uyahleka nje uMakhumalo, everything is fun. Futhi ushilo naye ukuthi usajabule the way ayijabule ngaye efika kaMSelegu. So and then uMangwabe nje was like, yabona nje leyo topic leyo kujabula nokuphathwa kahle nindlule kuyona, and next agenda item, you know. So MaCele was like, the fact that it doesn't matter if she's happy or not means that she's not happy. I think everybody can see what, you know, she's not happy. Here's the thing, you guys, that was said on I don't know if you guys watched the show, is Sister Wives, ne? Robin, who's the last wife, Gakop, said the thing about polygamy is that when a man because angithi about four, there's four marriages. So when a man is upset, when one couple, when a husband and a wife have a fight, the husband can go to other wives and still have, like fun and have good relationship with them. So when the husband fights with one wife, he doesn't stress as much because usazoyakulwa nkosikazi and eats and whatever and play with the kids and go to the other and go to that one. But what happens is that the wife, when she fights with the husband, she doesn't have another husband to go to. So she would look like, the wife will look like she's more upset about the fight, and she will look like she's the one that is more miserable and bringing everybody down. But it's because she doesn't have company when they are fighting with the husband. And I think that's what is happening with Mangwabe. Her marriage is not okay, but MaCele is like his marriage to Mangwabe is not okay, but he has other three marriages. So it doesn't bother him as much that his marriage with Mangwabe is not going well. So he's not making an effort to fix the things that need to be fixed in their relationship because he has three other relationships that are doing okay. Why would he bother? Why would he do it? So that's why very polygamy very accommodates a man, and his feelings. So Mangwabe is like, the man to being miserable. Imagine sitting at the table where everybody's saying, I'm so happy with my husband, I'm so happy. And that husband is also your husband and you are not happy with him. Imagine the things that women put themselves through. Anyway, that was the episode for today, you guys. My highlights was just the quality of the production. It was the outfits, it's the makeup. Guys, they even have taglines. I'm going to talk about the taglines. I'll do another video and talk about taglines. I even said, this is the real MaCele Kuzo of Mzumbi. It's no longer it's no longer Uthando Nesthembu. They have taglines. So we'll talk about the taglines though in another video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me what you think about this episode here and tell me happiness MaCele guys niyayibona. Hayibo akahappy MaCele uhleka yedwa. Hayibo ngiyasola nje ukuthi allowance bathe i-million a month kuzoba 2 million a month, the allowance from the husband, while the others are getting 20,000. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Please like it before you share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando.